Welcome to Finding Stillness in a Simple Morning Routine, a calming slice of life audiobook designed to guide you into a peaceful and restful sleep. If you are enjoying this soothing experience and wish to discover more tranquil stories like this, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for a continuous stream of relaxing content. Before we immerse ourselves in Amelia's gentle morning world, we'll begin with a brief breathing guidance to help you unwind and prepare for a journey into quietude. For those who prefer to drift directly into the narrative, you can find the timestamps for each chapter conveniently located in the video description below. Now, allow yourself to settle into a comfortable position, letting your body relax fully. Feel the gentle support of your bed or chair beneath you, releasing any tension you may be holding. Adjust your pillows and blankets to create a space that feels perfectly cozy and secure, just for you. This is your dedicated time to let go of the day's concerns and welcome a sense of calm and tranquility into your evening. Prepare to be enveloped by the peaceful rhythm of Amelia's morning. Let's begin with a soothing breath. Gently inhale through your nose, allowing the air to fill your lungs slowly and naturally, like the soft morning light filling Amelia's room. Exhale slowly through your mouth, as if releasing a gentle sigh of contentment. With each breath, imagine any remaining tension melting away, like frost touched by the morning sun. Visualize the warmth of a teacup in your hands. Feel the gentle weight of it, and let this sensation of warmth and groundedness deepen your relaxation. If your mind wanders, simply acknowledge those thoughts without judgment, and gently guide your attention back to your breath or the sound of my voice. There's nothing else you need to do now, but listen and allow the story to gently carry you towards sleep. Feel the gentle rhythm of Amelia's morning routine, the quiet sounds of the kettle and the soft rustling of leaves in her balcony garden. Let these peaceful sounds and images wash over you, bringing a sense of serenity and quiet joy. Allow yourself to be drawn into the stillness of the morning, and let's begin our journey into Amelia's peaceful routine. Chapter 1. The Kettle's Gentle Song. The first hint of dawn was just beginning to paint the sky a soft pearlescent gray when Amelia's eyes fluttered open. A gentle stillness permeated the air, a quiet hush that always felt different before the city truly awakened. She lay for a moment listening to the faint, distant sounds, the almost imperceptible hum of traffic far below, a lone early bird chirping a tentative melody outside her window. These were not sounds of disruption, but rather gentle whispers of life beginning anew. A comforting warmth emanated from beneath the duvet, a cozy cocoon against the cool air of the pre-dawn hours. Amelia stretched languidly, feeling the gentle pull of her muscles awakening, a pleasant sensation of her body slowly coming to life. She took a deep breath, the air cool and fresh, carrying a subtle hint of morning dew and the faintest trace of city dust, a familiar and comforting scent of home. With a soft sigh of contentment, she pushed back the duvet and swung her legs over the side of the bed, her feet landing softly on the woven rug beside her bed. The rug, with its slightly rough texture under her bare feet, was a grounding sensation, a gentle reminder of the physical world. She padded softly towards the kitchen, the floorboards creaking almost imperceptibly beneath her weight, a familiar sound that was more comforting than intrusive. In the kitchen, the early morning light filtered through the sheer curtains, casting soft shadows across the countertop. Amelia reached for the kettle, its cool metal smooth against her fingertips. She filled it with fresh water, the sound of the water gurgling from the tap, a gentle rhythmic sound that filled the quiet kitchen. Placing the kettle on the stove, she turned the dial, the soft click of the ignition, a small, decisive sound that marked the beginning of her morning ritual. As she waited for the water to heat, Amelia moved to the window and gently pushed it open, a soft whoosh of air entering the room, bringing with it the cooler outside air. The sounds of the city became a little clearer now, but still muted and distant, like a gentle background hum. She could hear the distinct chirping of birds now, a chorus of morning greetings growing slightly louder with each passing minute. She leaned slightly out the window, taking a deep breath of the fresh air, feeling the coolness on her face. Below, in the inner courtyard garden, she could just make out the shapes of the plants in the dim light, their leaves still glistening with dew from the night. Everything felt still and expectant, waiting for the full light of day to arrive. Returning to the stove, she listened for the kettle. At first, there was only a faint humming sound, almost imperceptible, but gradually it grew, a gentle rising tone that filled the kitchen with a sense of anticipation. The humming deepened, becoming a soft, rhythmic vibration that resonated through the quiet space. Then finally, the gentle whistle began, a soft, high-pitched sound that was both comforting and cheerful. It was not a jarring or insistent whistle, but a gentle, melodic song, signaling that the water was ready and her morning could truly begin. Amelia smiled softly, a feeling of quiet contentment settling over her as she turned off the stove and reached for her favorite mug, ready to prepare her chamomile tea. The kettle's gentle song had announced the start of a new day, a day filled with the promise of simple joys and quiet moments. Chapter 2. Steeping Chamomile and Morning Light. The kettle now silent, Amelia carefully lifted it from the stove, the warmth radiating from its metal surface. She chose a delicate ceramic mug from the cupboard, its smooth, cool surface a pleasant contrast to the kettle's warmth. The mug was hand-painted with a simple floral design in soft blues and greens, colors that always brought her a sense of calm. From a small wooden box, she selected a pinch of dried chamomile flowers, their delicate, slightly papery texture feeling light in her palm. The scent of chamomile, subtle and herbal, filled the air as she gently placed the flowers into a tea infuser. The aroma was instantly soothing, a familiar and comforting fragrance that always seemed to ease her mind. She positioned the infuser in the mug and slowly poured the hot water over the chamomile, watching as the dried flowers unfurled and released their essence into the water. Steam rose in delicate wisps, carrying the chamomile scent even further into the room. The clear water slowly transformed, deepening into a pale golden hue, the color of a gentle sunrise. Setting the kettle aside, Amelia carried her mug to the window seat, a cozy nook bathed in the soft morning light that was now beginning to brighten the room. The light, diffused by the sheer curtains, was gentle and warm, casting a soft glow on the wooden floor and the cushions of the window seat. She settled into the cushions, sinking into their softness, feeling the gentle support beneath her. Holding the mug in both hands, she closed her eyes for a moment, inhaling deeply the soothing aroma of the chamomile tea. The warmth of the mug radiated outwards, warming her hands and seeping into her senses. She could feel the gentle steam caressing her face, a soft, comforting sensation. Opening her eyes, she looked out the window. The sky was now a pale blue, tinged with the soft pinks and oranges of the rising sun. The courtyard garden below was bathed in a gentle morning light, the dewdrops on the leaves sparkling like tiny diamonds. The air felt fresh and clean, carrying the subtle sense of damp earth and awakening plants. She brought the mug to her lips and took a slow, deliberate sip of the tea. The warmth of the liquid flowed down her throat, a soothing sensation that spread through her chest and stomach. The taste of chamomile was mild and slightly sweet, with a hint of floral earthiness, a delicate and comforting flavor. As she sipped her tea, Amelia let her gaze wander over the courtyard garden. She noticed a small robin perched on a branch, its bright red breast a vibrant splash of color against the green foliage. The robin tilted its head, listening intently, and then suddenly burst into song, a cheerful melody that filled the quiet morning air. The combination of the warm tea in her hands, the gentle morning light on her face, the soothing scent of chamomile, and the cheerful bird song created a moment of perfect tranquility. Amelia closed her eyes again, simply savoring the sensations, allowing the quiet peace of the morning to settle deeply within her, a gentle and restorative beginning to her day. Chapter 3. Watering the Balcony Garden. Finishing her mug of tea, Amelia felt a gentle sense of contentment and calm settle over her. The chamomile had worked its quiet magic, easing away any lingering tension and leaving her feeling centered and peaceful. She placed the empty mug on the small side table beside the window seat, the soft clink of ceramic on wood barely disturbing the morning quiet. Moving with a slow, deliberate pace, she walked towards the balcony door, drawn by the gentle promise of the small garden outside. The morning air felt slightly cooler now, but still refreshingly mild. She slid open the glass door, the smooth glide of the door on its track, a quiet, almost imperceptible sound. Stepping onto the balcony, she was immediately enveloped by the fresh green scent of her small urban garden. The air was alive with the subtle fragrances of damp earth, blooming herbs, and the delicate sweetness of flowering vines. The balcony, though small, felt like a miniature oasis of green in the heart of the city. She picked up her watering can, a simple galvanized metal can that had developed a charming patina over time. It was light and easy to handle, filled with water she had prepared the night before, allowing it to sit at room temperature, a small detail she knew her plants appreciated. The cool metal of the can felt smooth and slightly damp in her hand. Moving slowly among her plants, Amelia began to water them. The sound of water trickling from the spout of the watering can onto the soil was gentle and rhythmic, a soft, soothing sound that mingled with the quiet murmur of the city in the distance. She carefully directed the water to the base of each plant, ensuring the soil was evenly moistened, taking her time with each one. She noticed the tiny beads of dew still clinging to some of the leaves, catching the soft morning light and sparkling like miniature jewels. The leaves themselves were vibrant shades of green, from the deep emerald of the ferns to the lighter, softer green of the herbs. She gently touched a leaf of rosemary, its needle-like texture slightly prickly against her fingertip, releasing its sharp, invigorating scent. As she watered, she observed the small details of her garden. A new bud was just beginning to unfurl on her jasmine vine, promising fragrant blossoms in the days to come. A ladybug with its bright red shell dotted with black spots crawled slowly along a leaf, a tiny splash of vibrant color against the green. The act of watering was meditative, a quiet, repetitive motion that allowed her mind to settle and focus on the present moment. She felt a sense of connection to these living things, a quiet appreciation for their simple beauty and resilience. The cool water flowing from the can, the earthy scent of damp soil, the vibrant green of the leaves, all these sensory details combine to create a moment of peaceful immersion in the natural world, even in the midst of the urban landscape. She continued watering, moving slowly and mindfully, until each plant had received its gentle drink, feeling a quiet sense of satisfaction in this simple act of care. Chapter 4. A quiet page before the day unfolds. Having finished tending to her balcony garden, Amelia returned inside, bringing with her the lingering scent of fresh earth and green leaves. The morning light was now brighter, filling the room with a warm, gentle glow. She felt a sense of quiet accomplishment, having completed the first part of her morning routine, setting a peaceful and grounded tone for the day ahead. She moved towards her armchair, a comfortable, overstuffed chair positioned near a small bookcase filled with her favorite books. The armchair was upholstered in a soft linen fabric, its texture inviting and comforting. She settled into the chair, sinking into its plush cushions, feeling the gentle support envelop her body. From the bookcase, she selected a volume of poetry, a collection of works by her favorite poet, whose words always seemed to resonate with her soul. The book felt familiar in her hands, its worn cover and slightly yellowed pages carrying the weight of many readings and quiet moments spent in its company. The paper had a soft, slightly papery texture and a faint, comforting scent of old books. Opening the book at random, she began to read, her eyes scanning the lines of verse slowly and deliberately. The words flowed smoothly, their rhythm and cadence creating a gentle, melodic quality. She read each line carefully, allowing the meaning and imagery to sink in, savoring the beauty of the language and the emotions it evoked. The room was quiet, except for the soft rustle of pages as she turned them, a gentle, almost whisper-like sound. The light from the window fell softly on the pages of the book, illuminating the printed words and casting a warm glow on the paper. She ran her fingertips lightly over the page, feeling the subtle texture of the paper and the faint impression of the ink. As she read, her mind began to quiet down further, any lingering thoughts or worries from the previous day slowly fading into the background. The poetry drew her in, transporting her to another world, a world of emotions and imagery, of quiet contemplation and gentle reflection. The rhythm of the words and the peaceful atmosphere combine to create a sense of inner stillness and calm. She read several poems, each one a small moment of beauty and insight, a quiet pause in the unfolding of the day. She didn't rush, allowing herself to linger over lines that resonated with her, rereading passages that caught her attention. The act of reading was not just about absorbing information, but about immersing herself in the beauty of language and finding solace in the quiet rhythm of the words. In the gentle quiet of her morning, with a book of poetry in her hands, Amelia found a moment of peaceful respite before the demands of her workday began to unfold, a moment of quiet nourishment for her soul. Chapter 5. Sunlight on the Teacup, ready for the day. Closing the poetry book gently, Amelia placed it on the small table beside her armchair, the soft thud of the book on the wood a quiet, grounding sound. She stretched languidly, feeling a gentle release of any remaining tension in her muscles, a pleasant sensation of her body feeling relaxed and at ease. She had been sitting quietly for some time, and her body felt both rested and refreshed. She looked towards the window, noticing how the morning light had shifted again. The sun was now higher in the sky, casting a brighter, warmer light into the room. Sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the empty teacup she had left on the side table earlier. The sunlight caught the delicate patterns on the ceramic, highlighting the soft blues and greens of the floral design. The teacup, now empty and cool to the touch, still held a faint, lingering scent of chamomile, a subtle reminder of the soothing tea she had enjoyed. She picked up the teacup, its lightness in her hand a contrast to the warmth and weight it had held earlier. She turned it slowly in her fingers, observing the smooth, glazed surface and the delicate curve of its handle. Rising from her armchair, Amelia carried the teacup towards the kitchen, moving with a slow, unhurried pace. The floorboards creaked softly beneath her feet, a familiar and comforting sound within the quiet apartment. In the kitchen, she rinsed the teacup under the tap, the cool water flowing over the ceramic surface, washing away any remaining traces of tea. She placed the clean teacup in the drying rack, the soft clink of ceramic on metal a gentle, unobtrusive sound. Looking around the kitchen, she felt a sense of order and calm in the tidy space. The morning light filled the room, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Walking back to the window, she looked out at the courtyard garden once more. The plants were now bathed in full sunlight, their leaves glistening brightly, their colors even more vibrant in the strong light. The robin she had seen earlier was still there, hopping amongst the branches, its cheerful song filling the air. Taking a deep breath, Amelia felt a sense of quiet readiness for the day ahead. The peace and stillness of her morning routine had prepared her, grounding her and centering her mind. She carried with her the gentle calm of the chamomile tea, the fresh scent of the garden, the quiet beauty of the poetry, and the soft warmth of the morning light. She turned away from the window, a small smile playing on her lips. The day was unfolding, and she was ready to meet it with a sense of gentle focus and peaceful intention, carrying the stillness of her morning routine with her into whatever the day might bring. The sunlight, now warming her face, felt like a gentle blessing, a quiet promise of a day filled with simple moments and quiet joys. all beginning with the gentle stillness she had cultivated in her morning routine.